Thank you for joining us for this another exciting session on the Wife Only channel. Today we're going to be continuing the concept of the soulmate theory. Do you have a soulmate? Are you a half-full person? Are you in need of someone to make you whole? Then this is the space to be. If you are a female, you need to be in the know so that you are guided on the path of that which is right and righteous. The only thing that is a half is this shirt. Let me now move into putting the next piece together, the jacket, so that we can have a unification and oneness to complete the presentation. Now, let us get into the meat of the matter of the meat that you came here to devour with us. The soulmate. Do you believe that dating is actually true? Do you believe that dating is actually in your best interest? Should you be going as a woman, as a female, on multiple dates, having relations, whether physically, emotionally, sensually, with multiple partners? Do you believe that your body should be treated as a orgiastic experience? Or do you believe that you should be maintained in holy sanctity, preserving your integrity so that you can present yourself as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to your husband, not your friend's husband, your own husband? Do you believe that? If that is what you believe, let us get to the truth about the soulmate theory so that we can see if what you think is actually what is. So the concept of the soulmate theory, from where we left off, presents to us the idea of dating and dating other people and why that is necessary in our society. But I want to let you know that we are going to get into the meat of the matter about why dating and dating of other people is an illusion. They say going on a date is okay and dating is all right, but that there is an illusion and that could jeopardize the future of your relationship, the future of the legacy that you should be leaving for your husband. The soulmate idea is loved by the media, as we had established, because it is easy to sell and promote a narrative, a false theology, and a false doctrine. Yes, the normal narrative is focused on something like this. A boy meets a girl, the boy likes the girl. The boy and the girl get separated. After the boy and the girl get separated, despite the adversity, they inevitably reunite with each other. Then there is the happily ever after. When have you seen in reality that this has taken place? Seldomly have you seen this taking place in reality. And in those cases which it takes place, it is not necessarily by a natural cycle. It is usually by a forced situation. But let us get into more details on the soulmate, because this is what the soulmate theory presents to us: the meeting of two incomplete souls, these two human beings, and then becoming a couple together, which completes them. Then we hear about your better half. How can you be two halves of a person? You have a better half and you have a bad half. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to be a half a person? Just think about it and see if that is something that you want to entertain in your life. Where did the soulmate theory derive? We have to get to the root so that we can build on this concept, so that you can understand exactly where we are coming from. So before we get into it, I want you to remember the Genesis account of humanity and the creation, in which God created man in his own image, and then man was given work in the garden. Over time, the creator of man said it's not good for the man to be alone, and then he allowed a deep sleep to fall upon the man, and from the man he took a rib and created Eve. The woman was then derived from the man, yes, and was then presented to the man, Eve was presented to Adam. Yes, and then he said, or he exclaimed, "This is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh." Yes, and this story can be found in Genesis 2, verses 20 through 25. Now, the soulmate theory. If you are not already seated, I think that now is a good time for you to sit as we get into this theory, because this may blow your mind if this is the first time you're hearing it broken down this simplistically. The soulmate theory is a serious comedy designed for entertainment purposes only. The present conflict theory is conflicting with theological beliefs and what is actually reality. Over time, it has been adopted as truth, but it is not. It was a comedy. And an opinion, as the origin depicts what was in the idea of the creator of this concept. The normalization of these concepts has brought us to this point, to this day, when we have to be discussing and explaining where it was derived from and how it has clouded our judgment as human beings in making wrong relationship decisions. The soulmate theory goes back to ancient time and can be traced to Plato's symposium, in which he philosophized about love and his friend Aristophanes. Aristophanes was the one who presented the soulmate theory as the original story for the human race. And we can safely say it is responsible for the plague of this theory in our society today. Please note that the concept is mythical or not real, and it has its origin in Greek mythology. All right? The soulmate theory begins like this in simple terms. Zeus created three different types of rounded beings. One type of male connected to male, that is homosexual beings, which we in today's modern time call gay. And then we have the second type of beings, which were two female beings connected, which is also homosexual, and we call them lesbian in today's dispensation. The third type of being was the androgynous, which was a female that was connected to a male, and this is a type of heterosexual beings, relations, all right, which is a common practice in which production of children or the producing of children takes place. The fruitfulness can be established, but all of this here is in error based on the concept of the initial design. So type 1, it was stated that originated from the sun. So the offsprings from this group originated from the sun. Or type 2, the offsprings originated from the earth. And type 3, the offspring originated from the moon. So now we're getting to understand that all of this here is just a concept and not reality. The Greek myth defined humans as rounded beings as having two faces, 4 arms, 4 legs, and incredible strength. Would you want to look like a human being in this kind of a state? No. No one would in their right mind desire to have 4 arms, 4 legs, and 2 faces. It's like this character I'm trying to remember in Mortal Kombat, which looks like some octopus kind of person. So we have to just be mindful that this is not pleasing or enticing. Let us just continue with the story. In the initial creating of humans, they were spherical with 2 bodies facing outward. So the bodies were facing outward with a single head and 2 faces towards opposite side and opposite direction, 4 legs and 4 arms and 4 hands. So those are 2 persons combined back to back. All right. These creatures had ought to be rounded like balls, as they could move around with ease on the earth. It is stated in the myth that these rounded creatures decided to attack Zeus upon Mount Olympus. However, they lost. And we know this kind of story. Zeus cursed them initially by splitting them in halves. All right? This created a problem. It was noted that their split desires and connection to their other half became a problem, right? Because they were no longer whole. The next problem that we realized was that they could not truly connect because their genitalia, their sexual organs were on the reverse side. So even when they come back together, they were not connecting because they could not multiply. So Zeus extended some mercy, some courtesy, and then placed their genitalia on the opposite side so that they can connect and now reproduce so that they can have other beings to worship Zeus. But this here is in error and this in a fallacy. Aristophanes and Aristophanes was a comedian. If you follow his advice, your life will be a calamity. And I'm sure that you don't want your life to be a calamity. So now let us look at the truths about the soulmate theory that are actually need to know. So number one, Zeus did not create human beings. That's the first thing that you need to understand. God did. It was God who created humanity. Genesis 1 and verse 26 indicates that clearly. There was never more than two sexes. There was only male and female as God created that in the Garden of Eden, as we can see in Genesis 5 and verse 2. Men are not derived from the sun, women from the earth, and others from the moon. Where are the others? Are they the aliens? Or who are the others? God created man, humanity, from the dust of the earth, as we see in Genesis 2 and verse 7. Human beings were created perfect from the inception of time, and there was no remake after their creating, as can be seen in Genesis 1 and verse 31. Humanity was created in the image of God and possessed one face, two arms, two legs. That's it, all right? Humanity was never spherical in shape, except in cases where they exude enthusiasm in food consumption, in which they become obese. That is the only time humans are round, and they were never created to be obese or rounded. Number 7, there is no such thing as a soulmate. You are not a half a person, you are a complete person by yourself. And until you realize that you're complete, then you do not have any business engaging in a relationship. Your cup has to be filled before you can fill the cup of others with the overflow. Number 8, you are not incomplete, needing to be completed by another individual. And this can be found in 1 Thessalonians 5 and verse 23, where God tells us specifically we were made holy, whole, and well put together. The phrase, you complete me, is a big lie. And we are here to tell you the truth. No one can complete you. You may be in a state where your emotions overwhelm your better judgment, but if you are incomplete as an individual by yourself, you're running into a situation where your life is being set up for trouble, set up for dependency, set up in such a way that you run the risk of having a failed relationship. We don't want you to have a failed relationship. We want your relationship to be successful. So what you have to do at this moment is understand the concept, realize the lies, and then recalibrate based on where you are on your journey as you seek to become whole and move forward in the next step of engaging in a marriage relationship. This is where we're going to be pausing on this session of Wife Only. This was indeed an exciting experience to discuss in parts the soulmate theory, so you can have the idea and the concept from where it was derived and what it has created, the lies, and now we have the truth. So now let us get into the real world application, but that will take place in our next sitting. So until then, be blessed. Be the wife that you were meant to be. Signing out is Kareem Ainsley, the wife lifestyle strategist. See you in the next one.